With the Rangers in need of adding some seriously good talent at this year's NHL trade deadline, and having Sean Monahan and Elias Lindholm now both off the board as they have both been traded away already, those are two of the top targets on the forward side of things that have already been moved off the table. They're done now. So let's look at another target here in Frank Vatrano, a familiar face that the Rangers could look to target in a potential trade here at the deadline, acquiring Frank, who could be a great player to add for this playoff run, as we did acquire him a couple trade deadlines ago as well, and for a fourth-round pick back when his value was a lot lower, and he played great for us. Then signed that nice, pretty decent-sized deal with the Anaheim Ducks, and so far has done a pretty good job over there with them. But right now, I think Frank would be a great guy for the Rangers to pick up, add in. Would cost a decent amount because he does have an extra year of team control. We'll get to that in a second. But this video, we're going to kind of take a look kind of what a deal could potentially look like for Frank, how he's been playing so far this year, and more as well. So starting off here, let's take a look at some stats here. Taking a look at what Frank has done so far this season. He has 50 games played, 22 goals, 14 assists, 36 points, is dash 13, but obviously playing on a pretty, let's be honest here, kind of terrible Anaheim Ducks team. Not trying to hit on them too much, but we know they're a good young squad, have a lot of great talent. I mean, Leo Carlsson is a phenomenal player. One day could be a star, but let's be real here. This team is still a few years away from at least even trying to really compete for a playoff spot. So moving on from a guy like Frank does make a little bit of sense here. He is, a guy who's already 29 years old, turning 30 in March. So it does make a lot of sense that the Anaheim Ducks definitely could be looking to potentially shop him, as well as the Rangers could definitely be looking to pick him up as well. Taking a look here, though, at some interesting stats. So far this season, he has a goals per 60 minutes of a 1.45, which actually is a career high, alongside a career high in points per 60 minutes with a 2.36. His previous career high there was a 2.06. And then for his assists per 60, he has one of the highest of his career, not quite the highest, but the second highest with a 0.92. So I think overall, he's a very talented player, having a pretty much career year. He has been amazing this year, having another career high in his shooting percentage as well with a 13.8. He has been really, really good this year. And next up, taking a look at how many power play points he's got so far this season, he has 3 power play assists and 8 power play goals. So 8 of his 22 goals and 3 of his 14 assists so far this season have come on the power play. So 11 of his 36 points, so basically 25 even strength points so far this season for Frank Vatrano in the 50 games played is not too bad at all. I mean, that's not the best in the world, but that's definitely not too bad at all. I mean, 11 points on the power play in 50 games played. He's definitely not doing too bad at all. I mean, overall, 36 points in 50 games played. He's got 22 goals, 14 assists, only 11 on the power play total, I think is a pretty good number. He's played pretty good in all situations so far this year. Taking a look here at another reason on kind of why I think Frank Vatrano is the perfect player to add, especially for a playoff run. Taking a look here for a winger, so far this season in 50 games played, he has 55 block shots and 94 hits. He almost has 2 hits per game and over a block shot per game. That is pretty unreal for a winger. And this is a guy who's only 5'11". He's not some 6'2" bruiser out there who's, kind of more of a bottom 6 kind of guy. At this point in his career, he is a clear kind of top 6 forward, a very talented guy. Plays a decent two-way role as well, but can lay the body, can play a really physical role, can be that kind of guy, can piss you off a bit as well, while also blocking some shots in the defensive zone, sacrificing his body for the team. He's just an all-around great player, and I definitely think would be an amazing fit on this hockey team. And taking a look here at what Frank Vatrano did with the Rangers once he was moved to the team at the deadline a couple seasons ago, back in 2021-2022, he had in the regular season with the Rangers, that's right after being traded, he had 22 games played, 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 points with a +6. I thought really did have an impact right away with this team. Right when he got traded, he pretty much made an instant impact, also averaging 15 minutes and 18 seconds per night, which was a career high up to that point. So pretty good for him, obviously coming to the Rangers there, had a great regular season. Then going into the playoffs, you expect a decent amount out of him, but he really exceeded expectations there, having 20 games played, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points, was a -1, but still played some amazing hockey, I thought, in the playoffs. I mean, for what you expect out of that kind of a guy, you traded a 4th-round pick for him at the deadline. You can't expect the world out of a guy like that, but he did way better than expected, posting 13 points in 20 playoff games is not bad at all, especially going up against some very, veteran teams, with a lot of experience in the playoffs, like the Tampa Bay Lightning at the time, obviously the Pittsburgh Penguins as well in that first round. I mean, we played some very experienced veteran teams, and going up against those teams, even Carolina in the second round there, they were another team who had a lot of experience in the playoffs. Going up against those teams, Frank really showed a lot, so I think that definitely does say something about his game overall. And the one really nice thing about trading for Frank Vatrano now is at least we do know Philip Hedl is out long term. Now, obviously that sucks, and we don't want to see that happen. But now we know he's officially out long term. We have that 4.4 million in cap relief, a tad bit over that, so that is nice there. So now you can trade for a guy like Frank without having the Anaheim Ducks, have to retain some money on him, which would cost a lot more for the Rangers in assets. So this is definitely a bonus for this team now that we do have a lot of cap space open. Just a little bit over 4.4 million. That is nice that we know we can add in a guy like Frank without having to have the Ducks retain any money, which is definitely a very valuable thing because that would cost us quite a bit more having a team having to retain on a guy like this who does have an extra year of team control as well. So, anyways, though, guys. Really and truly, let me know your guys' thoughts on the Rangers trading for a guy like Frank. I think it would be a great move for the team. I think he's a great fit. He could go right up there in that top line alongside Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider. It'd be a great top line there. Definitely could kind of add some juice to that line that definitely needs it. But I think overall, he's going to cost a ton because he does have an extra year team control as well. Maybe you look to kind of offload Barclay Goodrow in the deal like this as well. That's definitely a possibility alongside potentially getting another guy like an Adam Henrique. That's a possibility, I guess. You could go for both of them, although it would cost a ton, especially if you are kind of offloading Barclay Goodrow's cap hit as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it's going to cost a lot, but I do think it could be a great move for the Rangers to make, acquiring Frank Vatrano at this year's NHL trade deadline. But anyways, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. I will catch you in the next one. See ya.